Hey, what's up everyone? Brad Chmielewski here with episode 165 of Shatter The Vain. This week, I got some guys from the EZL joining me. We're talking about everything that they're up to, what's been happening since I last talked to the Old Eagle and Maple back in December. That was like about 30 episodes ago. So if you want to know, I'll include a link to that if you want to see where it kind of started and then where it's at now. Just they have completely blown up. The EZL bot is all over the place. You've probably seen it if you're a Vainglory player and use Discord, which I think most Vainglory players do at this point. If not, get on Discord. I mentioned servers and new things all the time. The EZL server is great, so check that out. So we talk about what they're doing. We talk about the Disney ESL show that should be coming out here soon with Vainglory featured in the 7th episode. And then we talk about maybe some changes that might be coming in 5v5 and how Vainglory could get the hero spotlights updated. Maybe some ideas for the content creators out there if they're looking to do something a little different. We got a few ideas for you. So let's do it. Let's get into episode 165.
Shatter the Vain.
This is the 165th episode of Shatter the Vain. My name is Brad Chmielewski, and it's a podcast all about Vainglory. Every week, try to break down the news, gameplay, game tips, and hopefully we can all become better players together. And every week, I'm bringing on new people from the community, people that love this game, people that help it get better and improve. And this week is no exception. I have Skills for Kills and the Vatican joining me.
Thank you for having us, dude. I really appreciate it.
Very excited.
So you guys are both from
Yep.
EZL, right? Is that kind of your main project, I guess, or Skills? You have a few, but this is one of the main things you guys are doing right now.
Yeah, I like to say this is kind of like my baby, basically.
Okay. I guess I originally chatted with Old Eagle and Maple back in December, when EZL was just kind of kicking off, and a lot has changed since then. But before we kind of get into what's different, if you want to let me know, what is EZL for people that maybe missed that episode or maybe have forgotten now, 6 months or 8 months away ago now.
When we launched, I think we were just a group with an idea, with a vision that we wanted to build. I mean, since then, it's been about 6 months now, I think, since we launched, and I think we've come very, very far. I think in under 4 months, we were able to officially register as a company. After that, we started hosting leagues in Europe, South America. Now in season 2, we went to South America. Season 1, we did North America, Europe, and Southeast Asia. We started building the EZL bot. Probably some of you guys have heard about it. We have a lot of other projects that we're working on. For example, inviting the streamers to the streamer program, the Brawlers Club. And, we have I mean, it all happens because really it's just, I think it's because of the amazing staff that we have. We have over 120 people on staff right now that all over and everything that make it happen.
Oh,
so
wow.
It's not just me and Leva here. It's a lot of people behind the scenes that people just don't see, but we value very, very much.
Nice. And then the Vatican, how'd you get involved?
Well, it's a pretty amazing story. Skills, he's just a really amazing guy. And I'm not just saying that because he's here, but I liked Vainglory. I started getting into Vainglory. I've been playing for about a year, and I actually listened to the original podcast with both the Old Eagle and Maple, and I was like, that sounds interesting. I'll try that. And I was only tier 2, tier 3 at the time. And so I joined EZL, and I'm just looking at everything, and I'm like, man, this would be really cool if they could do this, they could do that. And I had someone on the inside that I had been talking to before, and they're like, man, you really got to meet Skills. So they got me an interview with Skills, and just started talking to him, and we kind of just hit it off, really. Since then, I mean, it's just been full force, EZL, EZL, EZL. That's been pretty much the main project I've been working on in the Vainglory community, and Scales was just happy to have me.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one of the beautiful things I love about EZL. So, I mean, Aliva is perfect proof that, you know, you can start off as coming in as a member, and today he's practically the CFO. He's worked his way up. Everybody has a chance to basically earn and rise.
I think that's really like so many, I guess, projects and things that are kind of happening in the Vainglory community. Like, if you get in there and you care about it, like, you can take the lead on this. Like, people are more than willing to be like, yeah, I had this idea, I just need help. And, you know, when you have that team, it really grows and shines. I think it's showing.
Yeah, it just connects, man.
The biggest thing with the Vainglory community that I've noticed, it seems very open source. Everyone's so giving and sharing. The least toxic community. I mean, I used to play League before I came on to Vainglory, and there's just no comparison to the Vainglory community as a whole.
Mm-hmm. So how'd you do in that first EZL tournament? Did you end up...
I was too focused on trying to help EZL run that I actually didn't do the tournament, but it was exciting to watch the finals. And then this past season too, we just did the EU finals, and it's just been blazing forward. And you get to play with a lot of people. I've actually played in the Brawlers quite a few times because that's a lot of fun with the hosting and everything.
Mm-hmm. So what is the Brawlers? Like, how's that different than the other?
So Brawlers isn't exactly a tournament. It's just more of think of it like it's like a club where people just come out Friday and Saturday nights, and they just play. We designed basically kind of like mini games and practice modes and everything, where we have a guest like, you know, FlashX Woodworking and others have hosted a T-Dog. They come host the games, and, you know, everyone in the community just comes, plays. It's just to have fun in the brawl modes. Just go.
Oh, okay. So in a sense, like, there's almost, besides some of the tournaments and the bots, like, it's almost like a guild and a group there that wants to play and just like hang out
that's
together,
the biggest
right?
reason we started. Is just we wanted to build a community and just have fun playing. I think we all loved VG enough to be able to put in all of our efforts to make it happen.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys still get to play that often?
No.
As you're kind of building this out? And, yeah.
I do not. I mean, I get to play a couple of Blitz every now and then. I don't think I've ranked. I mean, I was a person that used to rank about 12, 13 games a day. And now I rank about once every 2 months or so. I haven't played in a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean, I still play probably more than Skills is able to. Skills is, you know, the bread and butter of EZL, but you know, not as much, because usually it's like, well, I can play Vainglory, or hey, I actually got to get this stuff done for EZL. So you kind of pick EZL over that. But
right.
Friday and Saturday nights, if I have some time, and I'll jump on, because the mini games are a lot of fun.
Yeah, I feel like that's so funny. Just I guess that's any project or anything you're involved with. Like, you have the passion for it first, and it gets you into it, and then as it grows, like, you still love the thing, but you just can't do it as often. Like the Vainglory, like the guild leaders or the org leaders now, it's like they don't even play the game. They're too focused on this, but they still love it. They're just like, don't have time. It's an interesting thing that happens.
I think you still get back the same reward. I mean, in a sense, like whether you play the game or you build what you enjoy doing, at the end of the day, as long as you're getting that same feeling of enjoyment, I think it works out either way. And either way, it still helps the community, whether you're playing or you're building the community.
A lot of times you can think of it as, you know, in between the big, you know, the Evil 8 or now the Vainglory 8 tournaments, you know, it was kind of like, well, what do we do during the meantime? You know, we can watch these streamers, we can watch this, but there wasn't a lot of team matches. And with EZL, it kind of gives you that opportunity to start watching some of these tournaments and start watching some of the best players in EZL, which might not be pro players, quote unquote, but they are some of the best players. We have VG players, tier 9, tier 8 players in there. So you're still getting to see some of that quality gameplay that maybe not as good as the Vainglory 8, since those are the top the best of the best, but you still get to see some top gameplay.
Well, yeah, that's so good. Like, because you watch streamers to just kind of like see what they're doing, and you do get bored, I think, watching the same, like, I don't know, 10 people who are the best play over and over again. Like, it's like, yeah, you're good, I get it. So it's nice to see some other people and kind of learn, and maybe you can pick up things like, oh, I would have done this and they should have done that. You kind of have a little more, I guess you learn a little more than just watching the pros who are like
exactly. Because I mean, the point of EZL is to be a league for everyone. So, you know, if you're just watching pro players all the time and you're tier 3, you probably don't, you can't quite fathom why they're making some decisions. So when you're watching someone that's tier 5, you know, they were like, oh, they did this, they built this way, that might help me get out of tier 4, tier 5. You know, that's some way you can do that.
Yeah, definitely. Very cool. Then you guys mentioned the EZL bot, and I would think any Vainglory player that's in a Discord server has probably seen this bot pop up or post something at some point in the past 6 months or so. But yeah, what sparked you to build this out?
We always wanted to build a bot to make our lives easier, really. Yeah. And then when the API came out, we all wanted to get it done. So we got Spies, Physics, Clark, and Cash together. We met them through basically Physics I already knew from back then. But the others I met through the VG API server. And we just started building the bot. And eventually it just started growing so fast. Then now I think the other day we just hit 1,300 Discord servers.
What? There's that many Vainglory? Wow, yeah, so that's crazy.
I mean, I think we grow at about a rate of about 10 servers every day. And it's phenomenal how every day, I mean, it feels like, you know, when one server sees it, somebody on that server is going to take the bot and invite it to their own guild server. And it just starts expanding and expanding. And we get blown away that every day the number just keeps going up. I mean, I think we're very close to hitting another milestone. Was at I think we're about 34,000 users, and we were about to be very close to hitting 35,000. So, I mean, all these people on Discord, and you know, we have a lot more stuff we're working on with the bot. It's not just about getting stats. It's like, for example, we built the matchmaker onto the bot as well, so you could find players that are near your skill tier that play at the same time as you. And, you know, that want to play ranked or casual or whatever. It was like basically our own little matchmaker that we built into the bot. I remember Spies made a joke about it, saying we should call it VG Tinder instead.
Well, that feature worked pretty well.
You could scroll left or right. I don't know. Hey, I'll pick you.
Everyone play with them.
It was awesome. But yeah, so lately we rebuilt the entire bot from the ground up. And, you know, we wanted it to make it so that we could scale it a lot more because we weren't really expecting 1,300 servers. But at the rate that we were growing, we needed to be able to handle and accommodate a lot more. So in the beginning, it was built in a kind of a rush state because we wanted it to finish it for the API competition, which we won first place in the community category. But then we had to redesign it because we wanted to do it properly in order so that we could scale it a lot further. So there's a lot of stuff going on with the bot that just blows everybody away, especially me.
That's cool. Yeah, you got, I guess, with that many users, I don't know the numbers of some of the other API sites, but you have to have a pretty, like, that's got to be high up there because it's in everyone's face basically all the time, so they see it and use it, where maybe you forget about some of the other ones that you check every now and then, but because you're seeing this all the time, it's probably a pretty high.
It's pretty cool. I mean, I don't really know the statistics of the others, but the reason I think the Discord bots do really well is because a lot of people in Vainglory use Discord, especially guilds. When they get together, they want to play together, teams, they want to do voice communication, they'll use these services like the Discord. And having the bot right then and there it's easier to get everything they want. And I think that's why it's been growing so fast.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So then what's next for EZL? You have some like gatherings you guys are working on the next season. Like,
So the
what's
gatherings
in the
is
works
just
here?
something we wanted to do. I mean, for the community, as in said, we wanted to host really, really huge, awesome gatherings all over the world. We wanted to, for example, do one in India. There was going to be a couple in Spain. I'm definitely going to be doing some in New York. I know Leva said he might be interested in. I was trying to get some done in South America. Basically, it's just about saying, we're going to be giving away a ton of merch in every one of the events, just to everybody that's going to be, having fun, just getting together, building community. You get to play with each other. You get to meet the community. We give out about 50,000 ice in the events. We do a lot of stuff, but mostly it's just about growing the community. That's the entire basis behind it. And to do a real proper event, everything is going to be basically off the hook.
That's awesome. The event, I know we talked about this on the last episode, but like the gatherings and the events are just like exploding. Like the community on a whole is just like, it seems like there's a gathering every weekend somewhere across the world.
I see some always popping up in Singapore. Lately, I've been seeing more and more in North America a lot.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah. So that's cool. So the gathering, and then as far as like expanding to new regions or the next season, like what's
we
on the
wanted to
for
expand
that?
to China. We had a lot of people from the China server come to us about expanding there, but unfortunately there were some reasons that we're not allowed to host in China at the moment. But we are expanding there. It's basically a lot of the legal issues that involve China. For example, they're not allowed to have Google or Facebook, and a lot of stuff it doesn't work. So we are planning on expanding to East Asia, and hopefully, once China is allowed, we can go to China as well. But that's just on the league side. As the community side, I mean, we're doing a lot. Like gatherings is one. We're basically we have essentially 27 projects we're building right now. We have basically the bot is one, the gatherings is another. So the stream team, basically, any streamer, big or small, is allowed to basically come and host EZL matches on their channels, and we basically promote them on their channels. It's awesome, and we get a lot of people that get interested, and we help them grow. In turn, basically, we do EZL Master League, was something that we started recently. A lot of the players came to us and said, they loved how EZL did it, but EZL was built for everyone, and they said that it wasn't allowed to have teams participate. So what we did was we created a separate league where teams could participate, as in the normal, unique way where it was a draft and everybody could apply. So we have basically two separate leagues. One is the major league, which is you sign up individually. Masters is the one where you sign up as a team together. So it's basically for anyone. No matter what type of Vainglory you like playing, there's something to do here. So I mean, EZL has a lot more projects that we're working on. For example, news is something that we do. We basically have. I mean, I was talking to Wolfpens about this a while back, about how one of the things that I personally like doing, that Leva can attest to, or anyone in EZL, is that I like to write novels. So I like to write a lot, and I wanted to let everyone in the community learn to love writing again. I mean, I think a lot of people have lost that, and so we have basically an entire journalist and editing team who write articles related to Vainglory. We just launched EZL merchandise as well. I mean, a lot of stuff is going on that I don't think we could actually ever cover all of it. But anyone can come out into the server and check everything. It's awesome.
Yeah, and there's a lot more that we're trying to get the ball rolling on, but you can only do so much with people. That's why we're just always looking for anyone that wants to help out, really, because there's so much we want to do with the community, but you can't do that without people. As you probably know, B-Rad, you gotta have people in order to make things roll.
For sure. That's cool. And speaking of writing, like skills, you are also behind this VG Dispatch.
Yeah.
what would you call it? It's kind of like a open kind of letter, but it's basically a novel to Super Evil Megacorp about stuff that you want to change or ideas that community and other writers.
It was basically an idea that I worked on before. I mean, I launched EZL. Was basically Dispatch was supposed to be a way to get everyone's voice from the community into SCMC and have the developers hear it in a mature way, in a professional way, it's not just saying, hey, we want this or we want this. It's about saying, what's the perfect way to achieve this? And we as a team would come together and brainstorm over these. And it took about 6 months, I think, to launch the first edition. The second edition, I think we're almost, a couple weeks away from launching about 3 new chapters. The second edition. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in Dispatch. There's a lot. It's really awesome. Like if you guys are interested in just giving suggestions, giving feedback, I think Dispatch is probably a really good place for you guys. I think the last time we had Christian, who's the CEO of Super Evil Megacorp, Captain Nito, Playoff Beard. I think also Niv met. I mean, a lot of the developers read it, and we got a lot of feedback from them that they really liked it. They wanted to see more. So, last time we did, I think, 36 pages. So this time, I think we're at 100 pages. so the novel just keeps growing and growing. It's awesome.
But that's good that you feel like it's worth it because they're responding. I know a lot of people, maybe if they just complain on Twitter or make videos or stuff, sometimes it just feels like you're yelling into the nothingness and no one's listening. But yeah, doing something like this and having them comment that, hey, they like this, they appreciate it, they've put in some of the feedback that you've had in there into the game.
I think meeting the developers, right? For myself personally, when as I get to know them more and more, I think whether someone's yelling or screaming or taking the time to do it properly, they will listen. It's a lot easier to listen when it's done in a proper manner. If it's mature, if it's coming off saying, for example, when we get an idea, we don't just put that idea down on paper. We have to basically say, we have to be our own devil's advocate, saying, okay, sure, you want to add, for example, when we did the last chapter when we published was about shopping. It was saying, okay, you want to add in a way to suggest, well, how do you prevent someone from spamming somebody? You have to be the devil's advocate to say, okay, this is a good idea, but how do you prevent it from being spammed? Or how do you prevent it from being abused? So it takes a long time to get it done. But when it does get done, it's a lot easier to implement. And it's a lot easier to, move forward. And it's better for everyone. I mean, we all enjoy doing it,
That's very cool. So keep a lookout for that. If you want to get involved with EZL or VG Dispatch, reach out to Skills here. Or who's the best person to reach out to?
I mean,
Skills?
For Dispatch, I think you can probably just message us at the Vainglory Collective. For reaching out to EZL, you could probably just join the server or just go on our website anytime. I mean, or you can just contact anyone. You can contact me. I think we're all pretty much an open book. We're all open to having people come talk to us, chat with us. I mean, that was the reason we built it. It was about getting to know the community. So we're all open to meeting new people.
Absolutely.
Nice, yeah.
Especially Levo.
Well, yeah.
Especially Levo. Bother him a lot.
Yeah.
Bother me all you want.
Yeah, I'll include a link in the notes in the description to the server, so everyone should definitely join that up and just also meet people to play with if you're not interested in helping, find people to play with.
Server was another cool thing that we hit the other day or a couple weeks ago. Was we actually topped 2,000 people on the Discord server.
Wow, okay.
So I mean, everything we're having is basically growing day by day. It's phenomenal.
Cool. Well, it's just awesome to hear. There's been a little bit of news this past week. I'd love to get your guys' thoughts on some of the stuff we've seen come out of Super Evil Megacorp and just esports in general before we get out of here.
Vainglory News.
The first bit is this Disney embraces esports. That's kind of, I think, the biggest story this past week, right? So there was this article about Disney They're going to launch on, I think it's basically their HD and XD channel, whichever region you're in. So it's going to be, I believe, the 7-episode series that covers Street Fighter, ESL brawler kind of games, and then Vainglory is going to be featured in the 7th episode, which I think is the last episode of this sort of test.
Yeah, man, save the best for last. You know,
you got to. You know, that's the closer. That's the most important.
That's my...
So this is just like crazy, I guess, just crazy news. So it's ESL and Disney teaming up for this series, this almost pilot kind of test run of this. It's kind of showing that Disney wants to get serious about esports. They're probably realizing the audience a little younger. They're definitely not watching traditional sports as much. They're probably watching much more esports and things like that. So they're like, let's get in now before someone else scoops them, like ESPN or something.
Yeah,
like that.
I think the biggest benefit to this is now I'm talking major, huge corporation. They just bought Star Wars. You know, now they're looking into esports. This is going to start grabbing the attention of other corporations, even more than esports already has. I mean, it's one of the biggest growing sports, for sure.
I think it is the biggest.
Yeah, it covers a lot, yeah. And then Vainglory being part of this is awesome for Vainglory and Super Evil Megacorp, because you are now in the same field as Street Fighter and some of these other like brawler games. So it's kind of I think it's going to elevate Vainglory even more, and that's the benefit I think we will all see.
I think we're gonna have a lot of people watching it, and I think that's one of the biggest amazing things about Vainglory is that seeing as how Disney is mostly for young kids, there's a lot of things that they probably can't show on their channels. But the fact that they can show Vainglory just means that Vainglory truly was built for anyone, even young kids, to enjoy. And that's what I love about Vainglory. It's for anyone. It's not just a game that you can play. It's a sport. It's allowing people to grow, and that's one of the most amazing things about Vainglory.
Mm-hmm. So for this 7th episode, we don't know, I guess, really any details yet, like who's going to be playing, where it's going to be playing, what's happening. So I guess we'll just kind of have to wait and see when this.
B-Rad and Levatican will be having a 1v1.
Yes, let's do it. Bet.
I don't think that's not going to help promote the game at all.
It'll be fun to watch, though.
Yeah, there you go. We also got a couple skin reveals this past week, which kind of hints that we're getting close to update 2.7 getting released. Usually once we have or see all 4 of the skins, usually we're a week or so away from the next update. But this past week we got to see the Red Rona and the Dire Fortress. What do you guys think of these skins?
Well, the Dire Fortress is absolutely terrifying. A lot of my friends, they actually main Fortress, and they were freaking out when they saw the skin because the Holiday Fortress skin, we always make a joke that it's so dirt, but it's so funny because he just prances around. But this one looks a lot more terrifying. It's not as much flame and fire. It's more just it's like a beast, which kind of goes into his lore. My personal opinion on the Red Rona skin, I mean, she looks giant. I don't know if it's just me, but she looks taller, a lot more taller. Maybe it's the hair, but and then those swords, golly, I mean, the poke should be fantastic with how long those swords are.
I thought it was a new hero at first when I saw it. I was like, hey, look, they got a cool new hero, but it turned out to be a skin.
We do need another female warrior type hero, not like a mini skirt kind of female hero. We just need someone another tough female.
Right.
Great.
I guess we recently got
Grace.
Gwen.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
Grace, yeah.
Who kind of does that, and then Gangstar Gwen kind of goes into that part of the lore, I guess. But I mean, Grace is kind of a warrior, but more on the not so barbarian side, I guess.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting that they got these two heroes. Usually we see heroes that are like kind of more in the meta, but Rona and Fortress haven't necessarily been top of the meta lately. So hopefully that means we'll see some buffs for them in update 2.7 to kind of make picking up the skins worth playing these heroes. If you're ranking or stuff, I hear Rona's working pretty well in like brawl modes and blitz and things like that. But yeah, don't usually see her.
Right. Well, I know that we've seen a couple pro players play Rona. I didn't really see Fortress playing in much of the competitions, but so they are strong. You're right, though. They're not quite in the meta, but I agree. I think we're going to see some buffs to Rona and Fortress. So start practicing now, guys.
Yeah, exactly. Get ready. And then we're recording this before the challenge battles kind of start. I think probably they're going to be starting here in like an hour or so on the EU side. So you're listening to this, you probably already know what happened because it's going to be out on Monday. But what are you guys' thoughts going into these challenge battles here? First off, do you watch the esports stuff enough to like know these teams or keep up with it? And then like, yeah, if you have any thoughts on who's gonna win
actually
here.
Watch North America a lot. I don't really follow Europe as much, or Southeast Asia or East Asia, but I follow North America a lot because I just I love rooting for game stars and I love following it, and so I just watch it a lot. But I think the competition in challengers recently is it's a lot tougher to predict. I think any prediction is just it's not plausible to do because the level of skill between the top challenger teams and the V8 teams have gotten incredibly close. It's really hard to predict. It's basically like a 50-50 shot almost. Either team can go. It just depends on the moment, which team has the better teamwork, coordination, the draft, and it's really hard to predict. I mean, I remember, we got Tribe upon the original status when I last saw them. All the other teams, especially, I think every one of them has a huge shot at taking. Almost all three teams have a shot at taking into the V8 spot.
And they all were V8 teams on the enemy side.
It's like, and that's how close these games are right now. It's just the skill is phenomenal in North America in the Challenger Series.
I think I feel like Immortals has maybe, if I had to pick someone, I think they have the best chance to make it out right now. I think they've played great, and I think they just have the, I guess, hunger for it. And I think with Sujay's experience and coaching and just knowledge of everyone that's playing right now, it kind of helps them out.
Yeah, definitely.
Immortals did do pretty well the last time they played. I'm excited to see how they do this time around.
Hey, but they still got to compete with some of the best teams too. We can't look down on Echo or NRG. Hammers, I think, was the other one.
Yeah, Hammer's in this challenge battles. That's kind of scary, but they've been way up at the top, and now they're here down in these battles. So I don't see them.
It's gonna be very, very tough for both teams.
But yeah, hopefully everyone watched those, and we'll know the outcomes here shortly. So yeah, keep a lookout, and then I think we're another week or so, and then Split 2 will kick off. So there's like no rest in the Vainglory esports scene. It's nonstop. It's crazy.
No matter who wins or loses, at the end of the day, it's important to remember that Levatican's predictions are wrong.
Almost every single time my predictions have been wrong, so he's not lying. So.
Oh man, so anyone's going to Vegas with you, just go bet against.
Yeah, actually, that's true. I should probably just post that, and then everyone can just do the opposite of what I'm saying.
That's one of the plans to make EZL money. Leave it to Vegas. Anything he bets on, we bet on the opposite.
I just better get somewhat of a cut.
Nice.
Lastly, I mean, if I had to make a prediction, so I'm sorry to the team I make a prediction on. I'm probably going to say I like EcoFox. I don't know. I just like them as a team. So we'll see how they do.
Yeah.
So sorry, Equifox.
Okay. Oh no. All right. Well, yeah. Keep a lookout for those. And if you missed them, go back and watch. All the VODs get posted on the Vainglory Esports YouTube page. Cool. And the last thing, before we wrap up here, a little forum static.
Forum static.
So the forum static, I feel like it's always going to fall back onto 5v5 right now. That seems to be all the talk on the Vainglory forums. But this one was kind of interesting because they were talking about the hero spotlights. And one, they missed Ciderhelm doing them, which, yeah, I definitely love Ciderhelm's hero spotlights. But then someone pointed out, like, there's a lot of hero spotlights that need to be updated. Like Kashka has changed a little bit. Just heroes keep getting tweaked and adjusted that maybe these spotlights, they're not appropriate now. But then I was thinking, like, why are they going to update these when 5v5 is going to come and they are going to have to update them anyway? We are in, like, this very weird spot with the game where, yeah, they should update this stuff, but it's all going to change here in 6 months. So is it even worth it to do this? What are you guys' thoughts on, like, the hero spotlights getting updated, or even, like, should they just wait until 5v5?
I think spotlights is one of those categories where, in my personal opinion, it's similar to basically how the API is. I mean, Vainglory released the API so that they could allow the community to build this, content. I think the same can be true for spotlights. I mean, I love Ciderhelm's voice. We go back, like, when I first started watching Vainglory YouTube videos, I was watching these spotlights to learn how to play the heroes. But I think spotlights are in something that, SCMC can use the community, have the community. We have a lot of content creators. I'm sure there are some in the beta that, that can help make the spotlights and redo them. They can help keep them updated, allow the community to do it while SCMC can focus on bigger tasks that the community can't do. Like, if we can give ideas to make a new heroes, but we can't sit there and develop the new hero. I mean, I think I would rather have SCMC focus on big, huge features like that and let them give the community more power. Let the community build the game as well. Let them create the awesome videos, I think there's room to go either way. You can say, yes, it's something that should be focused on, but it's also something that I think personally that, there are a lot of content creators that can actually do this. I mean, I'm not talented at it, but I'm sure there are many that probably could do these videos.
Yeah, that's not a bad way to think of it, right? Especially right now, because if you are brand new into the game, like you said, you go to these spotlights because they're in the game. You have no idea how to play someone, so you're going to click on this and probably watch this video. But if it was someone like Flash or Rumbly doing a hero, then it could lead that person to that YouTube channel and hopefully, one, expand their idea of what's happening in Vainglory and hopefully learn more than just the spotlight's going to give them.
There are a lot of potential ways.
I mean, it's just like the Vainglory community as a whole being very, very open source. Yeah, I kind of agree with Skills that I think if, some of these content creators, they could really make a really good spotlight and maybe even give some tips that maybe others hadn't noticed before. That would be a great asset to the Vainglory community.
Mm-hmm. So that's not a bad, if anyone, content creators out there is looking for some ideas for channel content, just start doing your own hero spotlights. Update them yourself. I think that would
do your own hero
go
accents
a long way.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh, are you guys, speaking of 5v5, are you guys excited for 5v5 or do you like the 3v3?
I think 3v3 really gave Vainglory its uniqueness when coming out of other MOBAs. Going into 5v5, I think when that happens, because this is, I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to say it right here, right now. Vainglory is the best MOBA on mobile right now. Just period. And I don't think anyone can compete. So when we go to 5v5, everyone has a cell phone nowadays. Everyone's, almost everyone's starting to get tablets. It's going the esports professional scene is going to start moving more towards mobile, in my opinion. And with this going to 5v5, we're going to start seeing a lot of these players in these other MOBAs start moving to Vainglory. I think it's just because of the community, how open source it is, and everything that the Vainglory community stands for, they're going to want to come and join us. So I think we're going to see a huge, huge influx of players when 5v5 rolls out.
So do you think the lack of 5v5 has stopped a lot of those people from coming in? Just being like, that's not...
I don't know if it necessarily has stopped people from coming in. It's just if they prefer 5v5 and 3v3, I don't even know what that would work. Maybe they don't even attempt to try it. Whereas if it's just a 5v5 game and it's on mobile, sure, I'll try it out. And then as they get into it, they'll really start picking it up. I'm not as sure as to if it's prevented people from playing. They're just used to 5v5. That's kind of been the model. The first mobile games we saw on, PC.
I think we talked about 5v5. I think we all talked about it in length. We discovered that there are people who actually won't play because it's not 5v5, and there are people who will no longer play because now it's 5v5. But at the end of the day, I think majority of the players in Vainglory, they love Vainglory for Vainglory. It's not about whether it's 3v3 or 5v5. They just enjoy the game. So either way, I think at the end of the day, everybody's going to be able to enjoy it, or a majority of the people are going to be able to enjoy it.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where I am. I love 3v3. I like that it's different than some of the other stuff, and it's also a little quicker because it's 3v3. But I think when the 5v5 happens, I like the world. I like the people that are involved. That's Super Evil Megacorp. So I'm going to not quit just because now they've changed the game I liked. So I think that's where a lot of people who probably are still playing and who have been playing for years are.
Absolutely.
World.
And it's going to be even more important for the jungler, just the way the map's laid out. The jungler, is it going to be a solo and mid? Is that going to be the best version of it? I'm not going to be surprised if Vainglory throws some curveballs that 5v5 is not going to be your traditional 5v5. You actually might need to change it up a bit.
I only see really two downsides to 5v5. The biggest one is basically saying, you have now 10 heroes instead of 6. That's basically probably going to be decreasing or increasing the queue times per se. It's going to be a lot longer to find players. But hopefully, the more influx of players we get, the faster queue times we'll get. The other thing I could probably say is a downside of 5v5 is basically, imagine, 10 ultimates going off at the same time on one of the older devices that currently support Vainglory. You got a gauntlet, you got, every ultimate in the game just going off at the same time. I think some games on some older devices may crash, probably. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's going to be hard to see on your normal phone size, like the non-iPhone Plus. It's good. That's 10 people on that. It's going to be tough. And like you said, it's going to be heavy on the device.
Absolutely. And then with double the players, the other things I'm thinking of too. If you already think you have a problem with ping, now you have a chance for 4 more players to have a bad ping, 4 more chances that someone's going to dodge the match, 4 more chances that this is going to happen. So it does escalate the problem slightly, but I don't know.
At the end of the day, the pros outweigh the cons on 5v5 by a mile.
For sure.
Probably, yeah.
But I think everyone's excited for it, both the developers and the players. We all want to try it.
I think it's going to be kind of a slow rollout when 3.0 will probably be our 5v5. I think it will slowly creep in. You won't see it instantly. It's 5v5 now. Enjoy. It'll be, yeah.
Well, it'll probably be like when Vainglory first launched. They had a beta, and then players playing it and then get some feedback. Vainglory, you want that buttery smooth experience. So they'll probably, I agree, you'll probably glide it out. The biggest thing I'm looking forward to in 5v5 is the complexity, and we're going to have to change the gameplay a bit on how we look at it on a professional level and just playing it in general. How many captains, heroes should we pick? How many, carries should we really have? Should we just have one? Should we have two? And then lastly, I think that's also why Vainglory's been getting these more fluid role heroes, like Grumpjaw. He can go to captain, jungler. Baptiste can easily go into jungle or carry. You're starting to see a lot more role fluid heroes.
Did you guys see the images, the maps they showed?
I did. I'm hoping those kind of look very League of Legends like, so I'm hoping for some.
I can't believe you can't. You said the name we cannot speak of. B-Rad.
I think basically, any way you design a 5v5, at the end of the day, you have to design it so that it's balanced. So every player has to have an equal opportunity. So there's very, very few ways you can actually make it. So I think if it's similar, it's not like saying that was the reason for it. I just think it's because, Vainglory tried and tested many different ways. And, at the end of the day, they realized this is the best way going forward and balanced.
Maybe, but I look at some maps like Heroes of the Storm. I don't know if you guys have played that or seen anything. They have a dozen 5v5 maps that are completely different just in their world. Like they have different objectives.
But is it balanced? Is it balanced per se? I mean, for example, you have to look at it from every game's perspective. You can design different maps. You can have basically saying a completely different format, but you have to have every format of every hero balanced. Every item has to be balanced. Every jungle creep has to be balanced. Where you put it, how you put it. And it takes a lot of, I guess, analysis, for lack of better words, to figure out how to actually make something that is going to be completely balanced for every player, whether it's solo queue, triple queue, or what is it now, quintuple queue, I guess.
Well, Blizzard has the time and money to put into that to make.
Yeah, I can't wait to try it. I mean, I love Vainglory. I can't wait to try anything they do, especially 5v5, man.
Mm-hmm. Exciting. Well, I think that's going to do it for episode 165 here. Guys, thanks for joining us. This was great.
Thanks for having us.
Before we get out of here, where can people find you guys, connect? What's the
everywhere.
Best option?
You can reach out to us on Discord, on our band. You can contact us on Twitter. Anywhere you guys want, we're there, basically. But you can always go to our website, ezlgg.com. It'll have links for everything, basically.
Cool. I'll include links in the show notes and the description, so go in there, check it out, get involved, see what they're up to. And then Shatter the Vain's on Twitter, @Shatter the Vain, website shatterthevain.com. All the episodes get posted there, links to iTunes, Stitcher, the YouTube version as well. And I'll be back next week with episode 166. Take care.
Let's get this over with.